My name is Dan Boucher and I'm the TUV Reform candidate in the Belfast South and Mid Down election here in Northern Ireland. But this is a general election message to people living in England, Wales and Scotland. Brexit has only been granted to England, Wales and Scotland. Before Brexit, we all suffered from the democratic deficit, the difficulty resulting from the fact that notwithstanding our representation in the EU lawmaking processes through the Council of Ministers and European Parliament, we could on occasion be overruled by the rest of the EU. We were not in fact in control of our destiny. Brexit was partly about taking back control, so we could not be overruled. But Northern Ireland has been denied Brexit, and in a way that rather than taking back control, gives much more of it away, and in a manner that places the integrity of the United Kingdom in jeopardy. As a result, the Windsor framework, we in Northern Ireland can no longer stand for election, or elect someone else, to make our laws in some 300 different areas. These are made for us by the EU, even though we are not part of the EU. The problem is not that there is a deficit in the democratic process attending the development of these laws, but there simply is no democracy. Northern Ireland, part of the United Kingdom, has effectively become an EU colony. The failure of the UK government to negotiate a departure from the EU that, rather than keeping the integrity of the UK citizenship intact, foists second-class citizenship on the people of Northern Ireland so we can no longer stand for election to make the laws to which we are subject in some 300 areas, constitutes the most monumental failure of UK statecraft for centuries. It does not just damage Northern Ireland, but the United Kingdom as a national community and its standing in the world. Northern Ireland has made extraordinary sacrifices for our country. It was, for example, the first place in Europe to receive US troops preparatory to D-Day, and the Royal Ulster Rifles was the only regiment to send in 2 battalions on D-Day to secure the restoration of democracy in Europe. How extraordinary then that the EU, led by France and Germany, should now single out Northern Ireland for the unique humiliation of mass disenfranchisement. How extraordinary that the UK government should have agreed to this. Those of us who live in England, Wales and Scotland can look the other way and try to ignore the appalling way in which Northern Ireland has been treated by the EU and the UK government, or we can face up to the great injustice committed against them, and thus the United Kingdom as a whole. I was so troubled by this injustice that I moved from Wales to live in Northern Ireland, to take a stand against this injustice. While not asking you to move house, I would ask you to vote for Reform UK, the only UK party standing in this general election committed to putting our country back on a stable and secure foundation without the Irish Sea border, the only party committed to the restoration of full UK citizenship to the people of Northern Ireland, and the only UK party committed to requiring that the EU, its member states and the rest of the international community respect the territorial integrity of the United Kingdom. Please vote for the restoration of our country on the 4th of July. Please vote for Reform UK.